you know that words and actions have consequences? If you do something wrong, you're gonna pay for it. So some call it cancel culture, but I call it, that's what your ass gets. This is Curtis Sliwa, a conservative radio personality who's running for mayor of New York. Last month, he marked the easing of face mask guidelines by holding a mask-burning event where he burned his hand. And I gotta say, that's what your ass gets. Burning things on a mass level is never the sign of you being on the right side of history. Books, witches, NWA CDs, none of them were burned by good people. Sliwa did this publicity stunt to win votes from conservatives, and that is so pitiful. He thought he looked like this, but really, he looked like this.
Fire, 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 fire.
Little idiot. A photo from the event shows Sliwa submerging his hand in a bucket of water as he continued to burn masks, which explains his campaign slogan, "Burn me once because I'm a idiot." Speaking of getting burned, a group of people in a boat in Moses Lake, Washington, recently harassed the occupants of another boat that was flying a gay pride flag. The harassers circled the boat that was flying the flag, gave them the finger, and shouted slurs. And then, right after they did that, their boat blew up. And you know what? That's what your ass gets. What in the 80s movie bullying were you thinking? Don't you know that bodies of water hate bigots? Remember when all those MAGA boats sank in Texas? Good times. That boat catching on fire was crazy. Even crazier, after their boat blew up, those terrible people were saved by the people they were just harassing. And they didn't even thank them. Now, how trifling can you be? Being nice costs nothing, but being hateful done cost your ass a boat. Meanwhile, tennis superstar Naomi Osaka announced recently that she would skip all press interviews leading up to the French Open in order to protect her mental health. But the French Open didn't like that. And they said, if you don't do interviews, we're going to fine you $15,000. And Naomi said, okay. And she paid the fine. Then the French Open said, if you don't do interviews, we're going to make you drop out. And Naomi said, okay. And she dropped out. And that's what your ass gets, French Open. You could have had a bad bitch, but instead of protecting her health, you would rather threaten and fine her. So she said, au revoir, Felicia. And Naomi is getting support from all over, including Nike, Steph Curry, Martina Navratilova, Serena Williams, and Venus Williams. In fact, here's what Venus had to say about dealing with the stress of media interviews.
For me personally, how I deal with it was that I know every single person asking me a question can't play as well as I can and never will. So no matter what you say or what you write, you'll never light a candle to me. So that's how I deal with it. But each person deals with it differently.
Damn, is it dark in here? Is that the shade that Venus was giving? Look, Naomi Osaka is there to play tennis. Anything else should be volunteer only. Can you imagine going to your job, working a full shift, and then having to answer snarky-ass questions from someone who can't even do your job? The French Open should be relieved that a queen like Naomi would even grace them with her presence. Now, let's not forget, this is tennis. Tennis! Women like Venus and Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka took tennis from this to this. So put some respect on Naomi's name, take 2 seats back, and collect the money she is generating for you, instead of threatening and fining someone who just wants to play the game they love and protect their mental health. Lastly, it was reported that Donald Trump's blog from the desk of Donald J. Trump has been permanently shut down after only a month due to low readership. And I gotta say, that's what your ass gets. Your followers can barely read a whole tweet. You start throwing paragraphs at them and they're definitely going to short circuit. And who has a blog these days? Is it 2002? What, was he typing it on his Dell computer wearing highlights in his hair while downloading Lose Yourself on Napster? For those of you who are younger, please Google those references. So call it cancel culture or whatever you want, but the fact is, if you act like an idiot and hurt other people in the process, something bad is going to happen to you. And when it does, well, that's what your ass gets.